He replies, no, but we live on the edge. Right now, it'll be the Raiders' Jeff Jager kicking the ball off. They met here a year ago. A shootout. Lead went back and forth. Oilers scored in the last play of the game to beat Houston, to beat Los Angeles 38-35. A high short kick. Spinning downfield. Taken by Tracy Jackson, and he jumps ahead to about the 26-yard line. And here we go. It didn't take long. Markers in all over. Zeph Lee, one of the combatants. Johnson, the other.
Kenny Johnson, number 22, is the guy that Jerry Glanville relies on to get down there and get everybody fired up during these special teams. He's been in the league a long time. He's played with Jerry down in Atlanta, and Jerry brought him here just for that reason, because he is a very courageous player, and Jerry said that's what it takes to play special teams.
And Ahmad, these are the two most penalized teams in the NFL, as you know, so we have flags early.
Kenny Johnson.
Gordon McCarter, the referee, has to sort this out.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 53 on the receiving team. Flagrant foul, he is disqualified from the game.
Eugene Seal is out already. He's the man that recovered the fumble in the end zone to help the Oilers beat the Bengals on Monday night.
This is a big loss, Don.
Big loss.
I mean, right at the outset of the game, Eugene Seal, one of the major players on the Houston Oilers team, and especially one of the major players on the special teams. I guess these referees are trying to set the tone right now that we are not going to stand for this, and they get rid of a player right at the start of the game.
That's unlike Eugene, stand out off the field, but he lost it on the opening kickoff, and they caught him with a flagrant foul, so he's out of the game. Maybe the best special teams player on the Oiler roster. Penalty, the Oilers are set to go inside their 15-yard line. First down and 10. The handoff, and Rozier runs the ball and gets to about the 15. A short gain on the play, maybe 2 yards. As we look at the Houston Oilers on offense, an ex-Raider, Bruce Davis, is at left tackle. The guards, Munchak and Matthews, both Pro Bowl players. Steinkühler, a not very good right tackle. Yarno in for the injured Jay Pennison at center. Warren Moon having another terrific year at quarterback. He was a Pro Bowl player last January. Rozier and Morasco come out when they go to the red gun passing offense, and the extra wideouts are Leonard Harris and Curtis Duncan, joining Jeffries and Givens. The best receiver for the Oilers is out of this game. Drew Hill with a back injury, down for 2 to 3 weeks. Moon and the Oilers setting up now in the I on 2nd down and 8. Out of the I back comes Rozier, and he gets the ball only to the 20-yard line, short of a first down, and it'll bring up 3rd down now. Rozier has not run well this year. The former Heisman Trophy winner has only 134 yards total, just 2.9 a carry. Defensively, the Raiders are big, very aggressive, long, back in good health, having a standout year at left end. Bob Golick at nose tackle is one of the best Plan B players in the league, out from the Cleveland Browns. Robinson is back today. When they go to the nickel defense, the veteran Mike Haynes will come in as an extra defensive back for Los Angeles. McDaniel and Washington at the corners. They'll be tested deep. Alonzo Highsmith, the lone setback. 3rd down and less than 3. Warren Moon on the sprint out, gets the ball away and makes the connection for a first down as he gets the ball to Ernest Givens. Givens turning back. He saw his quarterback in trouble, and here it is again, Ahmad.
Very speedy receiver. He's really dangerous when he catches the ball over the middle because he runs so well.
First down throw. A swing pass goes to Alan Pinkett. Raiders have him caught, but Pinkett gets away, and he's ahead across the 30-yard line. Out to the 32. Alan Pinkett, the elusive back, who's up to 192. Notre Dame's all-time leading rusher. Doesn't get the ball off, but he's very productive when he does. He's averaging almost 5 yards a carry when he runs it.
The Houston Oilers come at you with so many different styles of running back. You just saw Mike Rozier, a pounding inside back. Now you see Alan Pinkett showing that he's a quick darting type of a runner. Always able to get out of trouble and get the ball up the field.
Small but powerful. Pinkett can bench press over 400 pounds. 2nd down comes up, 2nd down and 6 for the Oilers. Opening drive, no score. Townsend might have left early. We'll see if he was drawn off as the officials flagged the play before it initiated.
400 pounds, Don, about the weight of your average refrigerator.
That's it.
70 offense.
Steinkühler, who was across from Townsend, moved early. So the call is against the Oilers. Their second penalty. The first was most expensive. And they open
in.
But in real terms. Second down and over 10 now as they go from the shotgun. Moon, a timing throw. He has a man deep, and the ball is caught inside the 45-yard line of Los Angeles. Haywood Jeffries goes up and takes the ball away from Lionel Washington. A perfectly thrown ball by Warren Moon, good for a 32-yard gain, and a Houston first down.
An excellent throw by Warren Moon. This ball was right on the money. Anytime you get a guy in your face, the only way you can beat him is just take off down the field. Jeffries gets by Lionel Washington. Now the ball's up in the air. Watch Jeffries go to the ball. Right smack dab on the numbers there. Another look. Warren Moon showing that he not only has a strong arm, but he has tremendous touch. He puts the ball right where the only person can catch it is Jeffries. Great play by both those guys.
Remember Monday night, Jeffries dropped the ball like that against Cincinnati. Here's a tip ball, but the Raiders can't get to it. They were going to the tight end, Bob Marasco. They don't throw to the tight end often here in Houston, nor do the Raiders.
Maybe that
comes out. Oilers on the opening drive of this game have the ball positioned at the 44-yard line of Los Angeles. It's second down and 10. Big rush by the Raiders. Moon stands in. A penalty marker goes down as Moon heads for the sideline, and Mike Cain's got the shot at him before he goes out. Could be a holding call against the Houston Oilers.
It looked like Giorgiano, number 66, was saying that he didn't hold. That usually means that the guy did hold, but let's wait and see. I may have mentioned the wrong fella too soon.
Personal foul. Illegal head slap, number 75 defense. Penalty assess 15 from the dead ball spot. First down.
Giorgiano, I am so sorry. Higher from now on.
Knockout punch. And downfield go the Oilers on the penalty. They have the ball close to the 25-yard line. Moon looking to throw again. Stands in, takes his time, and that time a tip ball off the hands of Jeffries. So he caught one and then dropped one. Mike Harden contending for the ball on the play for the Raiders.
Warren Moon has such an easy release that you really can't tell how hard that ball is coming. But he put that ball right on top of Jeffries, and Jeffries did a good job of keeping it from getting intercepted as he knocked it up. Then he knocked it away from the defensive back.
New England scoring 3 late touchdowns. Comes from behind to lead Buffalo. I'd like to welcome those who've been watching San Diego and Pittsburgh. Right now, the Oilers have the ball, second down and 10. No score opening drive. 10:47 to play in the first quarter. Moon with time, an open man, but he throws to the wrong side of Ernest Givens, and it's incomplete. Almost a 6-point hit. The Steelers rallying on the 13-yard line. Warren Moon, his last throw, 6 inches away from a touchdown, just to the wrong side. Another timing to the end zone, and it's by Curtis Duncan. Harry McDaniel was defending, but there are markers down in the field.
And we got an offsides on the Raiders. Therefore, I think we got
93 defense, penalty decline, touchdown good. Get off the field.
Later it was offside. The play goes, and it's a touchdown. Warren Moon to Curtis Duncan, and the Oilers are on the board 6-0.
Greg Townsend, one of the premier pass rushers in the league. Just pick yourself from the defensive back.
Well, it worked. It went for 6. Curtis Duncan with his 3rd touchdown reception of the year. Extra point is drilled up and good by Tony Zendejas. And the Oilers, on the opening drive of the game, take it down the field on an extended drive with the touchdown throw, Warren Moon to Curtis Duncan for 25 yards, and Houston has a 7-0 lead on the Raiders. Almost 7 yards a run is Bo as the kickoff by Zendejas is hit hard downfield. Stephon Adams at the 2-yard line. He's up to the 20 and the special teamers come in and sweep him under. And markers go down all over the field again.
Kenny Johnson is a great special teams player. When I came in the league, he was a defensive back for the Atlanta Falcons. He was about 150 pounds. Now he's up to 195 pounds, and I mean, he shows tremendous. He goes in motion on the kickoff.
Holding, number 88 receiving team during the return. 10-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
He starts on one side of the field, takes a running start in motion, and then flies down the field. Holding on number 88, Ethan Horton, used to be a running back with the Kansas City Chiefs, and now Al Davis making him a project. They're trying to turn him into a tight end.
Well, I worked with Todd Christensen. Ethan Horton was a highly regarded running back out of North Carolina. He was one of the top draft choices in the league. 15th player picked overall in the 1st round by the Chiefs in '85. And he's gone to tight end with the Raiders, who got him as a free agent. Beuerlein back in at quarterback after missing 2 games with a sprained knee. Jackson breaks it, and he's out across the 20 and out to the 22-yard line. First carry from scrimmage, and Bo Jackson's ahead for 13, almost 14 yards.
Bo Jackson is in the hole and on you so fast that you can't hardly react. I mean, he just explodes out of that backfield. He's got those small little choppy steps. Watch him take this handoff, and the next thing you know, he's in the secondary. He is full speed right now and just runs over Donaldson. Everybody trying to get a helmet on him before he gets to the ground.
Jackson well over 100 yards in his last 3 games. Beuerlein gets time and swings it out to Bo, and Jackson puts one move out, but he can't make the man miss, and he's ahead for only a gain of 2 yards. As Robert Lyles, the left side linebacker, number 93, held his position and knocked down Bo.
Bo Jackson is a phenomenon. It's just incredible, and I feel lucky to just get a chance to watch this guy who's a superstar in baseball, a super-duper star in football, and you just want to watch every single thing he does. He's one of these guys at any time, he doesn't have to carry the ball to bring everybody to their feet. They're watching Bo at all times.
It's interesting in that he ran out in the field to warm up, and the conversation in the stands stopped. Everybody stopped to look at Bo. Beuerlein with a screen pass gets it to Bo Jackson, and again the Oiler defenders sweep on up and make the play. On a 2nd down and 8 play, they knock down Bo short of the 1st down. John Grimsley and Robert Lyles, 2 linebackers, were on the stop.
Talking to Al Davis the other day.
Miami rallied to beat Dallas today, 17-14. We'd like to welcome those of you who've been watching that game. We're at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, where the Oilers took in a 7-0 lead on a 25-yard touchdown throw on the opening drive. Warren Moon to Curtis Duncan. Now the Raiders have a 3rd down and 5 play coming up. Steve Beuerlein looking to run, and he falls ahead well short of a 1st down. Still troubled by the strained knee. They don't want Beuerlein running. That time he had to. Eric Fairs and Steve Brown hemmed him in, knocked him down. And there's also a penalty marker down in the Raider backfield. Holding call against Los Angeles.
Number 60 on the offense, penalty decline, 4th down.
This is something that they don't want Steve Beuerlein to have to do. Beuerlein looking to try to find a receiver open downfield, can't find anybody, and just takes off on a scramble. You got a bad knee like that, that is not a good idea to run that ball too many times.
Jeff Gossett, punter for the Raiders. Kenny Johnson, the return man back for the Oilers. A well-hit ball by Gossett, who was a former Houston Oiler. And the ball is taken on a fair catch at the 26-yard line. So the Oilers are set to go on offense their 2nd time. Now to NFL. Bob, Houston up 7-0. Warren Moon set to direct the Oiler offense. He's thrown the ball well. Hit 4 of 7 throws in that opening drive for 67 yards. The last for 25 yards in the touchdown. Warren Moon swings it out. Catch is made as he gets the ball out close to the 35-yard line. Alan Pinkett out of the backfield. Eddie Anderson on the tackle. Warren Moon hit just as he released the ball. He missed the game with the Raiders last year with an injury.
Greg Townsend put a little lick on him just to let him know he was around just as he let this ball go. An excellent job by Warren Moon finding an open receiver. But it's just as soon as he looked out there to that outlet and threw the ball, Townsend was on him. See, there he finds it. There's the hit. A little love tap. Let him know he's around.
That's all. Second down and 3 comes up now for Houston. Lightning throw, and coming back to make the play on the ball is Ernest Givens. It looked like it might be intercepted the way it was floating in, and Givens, so very quick, darted back, made the play. It's a first down for Houston as he catches it again on Terry McDaniel.
Shades of Fred.
Givens beat him to the ball. First down, Houston. Alonzo Highsmith. The closest thing the Oilers have to Bo Jackson, a big, fast power back.
That would like to carry the ball 20 times a game, but in this offense, he only gets the...
New Orleans beats Atlanta today. Handoff to Mike Rozier on a second down and 4 play. He's ahead for about 3 yards. Bob Golick, nose tackle for the Raiders, made the stop.
The thing that this Houston Oilers offense does to keep the defense off from just...
Alonzo Highsmith was the 3rd player picked in the first round. He came out. Lorenzo White, a #1 draft choice. And Pinkett. Over the top goes Mike Rozier on 3rd and less than a yard. He breaks the crust of the Raider defensive front and gets to the 41-yard line.
And we got a little chicken fight going on here. You know, the amazing thing is no one has ever been hurt in those kind of fights.
That's right. That's Howie Long says all you do is hurt your team by getting thrown out.
A nice little move here by Rozier, who can't find the hole to the left, breaks it back over to the right a little bit, keeps his feet, and drives it through for the first down. But it looks good, though, in those fights when you jump up and act like you're ready to fight somebody. Houston.
You punch a helmet or a face mask, your hand finishes a bad second.
That's the stupid move.
First down and 10 now for the Oilers. Right to the shotgun. Warren Moon getting time and makes another connection. This time it's to Haywood Jeffries, the #1 draft pick 2 years ago out of North Carolina State. Raiders start the day the Oilers start the day 1 game behind Cleveland in the AFC Central. Raiders have virtually no chance of catching Denver, 3 back with 6 to play, but they can make it as a wild card. As Mike Rozier turns the corner and takes a hard hit from Eddie Anderson, the free safety for Los Angeles, number 33.
I've always thought on an offensive team, your toughest guy's got to be your running back. I mean, he's got to be your tough, bully, butch kind of guy, and that's what Mike Rozier is. He is.
Here was a 1,000-yard rusher a year ago, has been not very productive so far this year. 3rd down, 3rd and 2. Oilers have converted their previous 3 first-down tries on 3rd down, and they do it a 4th time. So they're really powering the ball at Los Angeles. Penalty marker down.
Ball start. Offensive right guard. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Rozier has not played a lot.
They like that Raider mystique. They wear the mantle of the bad guys the last couple of years.
They got a lot of winning to catch up with that Raider mystique.
3rd and 7 now for Houston on the run. A beautiful strike thrown downfield. Leonard Harris adjusting to the ball in flight as Warren Moon throws an 18-yard strike on the run. It's another first down for Houston.
Warren Moon telling Leonard Harris he's doing a great job, but she wants him to come back to him at the end of this route instead of fading away. He makes it a little bit tougher than it actually is, and right at the end of the play, Warren Moon went up to him and told him to bring that route back to me. Warren
really is moving the ball around. Leonard Harris said he was in the doghouse, fumbled a punt at New England, but he got out of the doghouse Monday night, made a terrific touchdown reception to help beat the Bengals. Handoff, and they go to Alonzo Highsmith on a first down carry. He is to about the 18-yard line. Gain of maybe 2 yards on the play. Linebacker Lyndon King, number 52, made the stop for Los Angeles. This is the best way to stop Bo, though, Ahmad.
Keep him off the field.
The Raiders have had the ball virtually not at all. 3 downs and out, their 1 possession. This is the 10th play of this drive for Houston. Moon in trouble, but he has good speed afoot, running away from it. He gets it away, and it is, whoa, it might be an interception by Harden. It is. A terrific play by Mike Harden of the Raiders, who fielded the ball just off the turf. Texas-style Raider fans took a while to paint those dudes up.
That was awful close, though, Don. It looked like that ball almost could have been trapped. Now, a lot of people think Warren Moon can't move. Warren Moon can't move. Easier to say. All right, there you go. He gets by one pursuer and takes off running. Now he's trying to throw the ball downfield. Can't find anybody. And double pumps just to try to get the ball away, not to take the sack. And we'll see the end of the interception right here. Mike Harden. That's awful close. That is awful close.
So it is Raider ball on Mike Harden's interception. Raiders go on offense when we come back. Stands, it's Raiders ball. Oilers looking like they're ready to put a knockout punch in this game on early if they took it in again. They lead 7-0, but Los Angeles now has the ball. 1st and 10 for the Raiders at their 17. Bo Jackson hemmed in again as he has both arms on the ball, and now bringing up 2nd down and 8. We go back to NFL. How much Marty Schottenheimer wants that one. Here is a throw downfield by Beuerlein, and he makes the connection for a 1st down outside the 35-yard line. Mervin Fernandez, leading receiver this year for the Raiders, makes his 31st catch, averaging almost 20 yards a reception.
Mervin Fernandez, this is a great catch. Beuerlein having a lot of confidence in his wide receivers. In an 18-yard throw, he puts it up a little high. Fernandez doesn't hesitate to go up, snatch the ball out of the air, and get to the ground. Great catch by Mervin Fernandez, who's really coming into his own. They thought this guy was going to be a savior when he came from Canada. They give him a little bit of time, and he's finally coming around to be a great receiver.
When he gets it and runs, he hits you. You don't just hit him. A very physical player. Pitch back to Bo Jackson. That's his favorite play, and Bo takes people with him ahead for a 1st down. A 1st and 10 play, good for 13 yards for Jackson. And a remarkable athlete. 235 pounds. You get this contrast. 235, and he runs the 40 in 4.2.
Bo Jackson takes the pitch out and waits no time to go upfield. He goes upfield right away. These linemen, they love to block for Bo because he doesn't take any time in going forward. Here's another look. Bo taking the ball off the right side and then just bursts through the line of scrimmage. And the next thing you know, he is on top of the defense. 3 rushes for 30 yards.
Steve Smith, one of the best blocking backs, was leading the way, number 35 for the Raiders. Back to Bo, weaving his way, and Jackson takes a hard hit, gets to the 45-yard line. 1st down carry was good for 4. Sean Jones and Eric Fairs were on the stop for the Houston Oilers. The offensive line for the Raiders, Wisniewski, a rookie guard from Penn State. They think is Pro Bowl quality as a 1st-year player. He's been terrific. Mosbar missed some games with his back playing center. Beuerlein at quarterback. Galt and Fernandez, the wide outs. Dial doesn't get much thrown to him. He'll come out for extra wide receivers. Tim Ware and Mike Alexander will come in as part of the 4 wide receiver set of the Raiders. 2nd down and 6. Raiders with the ball. Houston with a 7-0 1st quarter lead. Beuerlein has Dial open, but he can't get to the ball at the 25-yard line. Very close to a big hit for the Raiders, but it goes incomplete, and that'll do it for the 1st quarter of play. So the Oilers, moving 87 yards in 10 plays on their opening drive, took a 7-0 lead, and that's how it stands at the end of 1 quarter of play. Back to the Astrodome after Ahmad Rashad. This is Don Criqui back at the rejuvenated Astrodome. They put a lot of new seats in, 15,000, getting the attendance up over 60. Coach Jerry Glanville, who says his team lives on the edge, when asked if they're a dirty ball club. Right now digging in to try and stop the Raiders. Big down for Los Angeles and Steve Beuerlein. 3rd down and 6. Oilers lead the Raiders 7-0 as we open the 2nd quarter of play. Downfield throw, and it's stripped from Mike Alexander at the last possible second. Richard Johnson, number 23, knocked it away from Mike Alexander.
Fred Biletnikoff told me that one of the guys, the sleepers, is Mike Alexander. And here he's just fading back a little bit. As he fades back, if he would have come back to the ball, he may have had a chance to catch it. But Richard Johnson, number 20.
Be a first down for the Raiders on this play as their punter was fouled. They went for the block, did the Houston Oilers. And the ex-Oiler Jeff Gossett, now punting for Los Angeles, was hit hard. There's no question, the official, the referee right there.
The penalty does not make it a first down. It will still be fourth.
That's right. It's not enough to make it a first down. Where their position, they had fourth down and 6, and that's a 5-yard penalty.
Now, one of the reasons that they say that kickers are strange people, if we can see this again, Gossett jumped up and celebrated after he got knocked down. Very happy about the fact.
Interesting, though, the Raiders are sending their offense out. They'll have about a yard to go. So I would take a outside shot at calling this one, Ahmad. A weak side toss to Bo Jackson with Steve Smith in front.
That's well, Tom Walsh said, you know, we've gone back to the old Raider way. He's the offensive coach for the Raiders, and that is to get out and just get after people. We put our men on their men and see who's the best.
Watch the up back 35 block here. He doesn't get it. Jackson's the eye back. Fourth down, less than a yard. Bo blasts ahead. He might go more inside to the 30 to the 28-yard line. So the Raiders have been getting 10 yards a pop from Bo. Busted ahead on a fourth down try, and Bo is about 11 yards downfield for yet another first down.
And seeing that this play worked, it was a great call. Bo Jackson just exploding through that Oiler defense and running over everybody in front of him. 5 carries for 48 yards. Watch Bo run through tackles. And all of a sudden, right at the end, he's got a chance to go again. Steve Brown is there. He runs over Steve Brown, too.
Bo averaging over 9.5 yards a carry in this game, and he's not popped the big one yet. Chances are he will. First and 10 for the Raiders. As 35, Smith goes in motion to lead the blocking. Jackson darts inside the 25-yard line. He's ahead for a gain of about 4. Inside linebacker Al Smith, number 54, made the stop for the Oilers.
Bo Jackson is a pleasure. You see him give old Doug Smith a hand to the back. They played together at Auburn. And Bo is just a pleasure to block for if you talk to any of the offensive linemen, because all they have to do is get on the block. They don't have to knock anybody down because Bo gets there so fast. The worst thing you want to do as a defensive lineman is come off a block and catch Bo in the chest.
Right, they say that you can't believe how quickly he hits the hole. If there's just a slant, he's got it open. That time, the Oiler linebackers shoot the gaps to play the run and knock him down at about the 22-yard line. Smith was the first man through again.
You know, having talked to Al Davis the other day, and he's just a wonderful guy to talk to. Knows all about every football player that's ever played. And we were talking about the Bo Jackson thing, and when all the press came out and everybody talking about he could not play, he can't possibly play 2 sports. The sportsman in Al Davis came out and he said, I want to be the guy to give him a chance. And he is as much of a fan as anybody that I have ever been around in terms of giving this guy a chance to be great, as opposed to everybody else saying, oh, he can't do it.
What manner of man is Bo Jackson, and what he's achieved is just extraordinary. He led the major leagues this year with 1 RBI for every 4.9 at bats, was the MVP of the All-Star game. As like Mike Haynes says, I'll bet he'd be the MVP of the Pro Bowl. Beuerlein stops and throws, and Dial heads in for the Raiders. So Los Angeles comes right back. A beautiful thrown ball by Steve Beuerlein to tight end Dial, and it's good for a 22-yard touchdown. Players really like Beuerlein. They figure he fires them up. He knows where to go. He's smart, makes the reads. This team responds a lot more to Beuerlein than it has to Schrader in recent weeks.
They certainly do. And this is an excellent throw by Beuerlein. Backing up, looking for the tight end Dial the entire way. Dial wide open over the middle and makes the catch and makes a nice little run here to get inside the end zone. When you put too much pressure on trying to stop Bo Jackson, it creates big lanes in that defensive secondary.
Raiders put the excitement back in the extra point. They hit the upright, hook it into it. The kick by Jaeger.
I think we're going to kick it again.
The Oilers were offside. They'll get another shot at it.
I bet he can't do that again. Hit that pole and it bounced right back to him.
He caught it. Trick shot. But Schrader has had one sensational year at Washington when he threw for 4,100 yards and went to the Pro Bowl in '86.
Offside. Defense. Retry.
He might be better off him now with the pressure off him now. He'll come off the bench somewhere between now and the end and maybe get back into his top form. He's just been way off form in the recent games.
It's a good situation if the quarterback is able to accept the fact that he's the backup quarterback, and anytime he gets a chance to play, he's got to be ready to go. Jim Plunkett did that better than anybody I can ever remember.
Number of times he did it. Was on the bench, came back to start.
Well, what about
they give Jaeger a second chance on the penalty against the Oilers, and that is good for a tie ball game. It is a 7-7 game, 12:21 to play in the first half. On from high atop the Astrodome, Al Davis has to be well pleased with the work of Steve Beuerlein, the young quarterback who just made the hit to Mike Dial for the touchdown, tied the game. It's interesting about Bo Jackson. Art Shell says he hits home runs for us too, and they think he's going to hit one today. They think he's going to go the distance every game, I think, Ahmad.
I just have not seen anybody that has this effect on everybody that he plays against. You talk to baseball players and they are in awe of Bo Jackson. You talk to football players, they are in awe of Bo Jackson, and I think the entire country in terms of sports is in awe of Bo Jackson.
That was Mike Dial's first touchdown.
To the adjustment. And he said, what adjustment? I said, I mean, from baseball to football. He said, what adjustment?
Yeah, he had a week and a half off. He said, everybody said, how can you do it? He said, I don't know what to do with my free time now. So we got football.
Number 88 receiving team during the return.
Berthold.
After this is penalty from the dead ball
for the
spot.
penalty. You know that way he can break a bat over his helmet has to be strong. That's the first thing we know. He did that about 4 times last season. First down and 10 for the Oilers. All at their 5-yard line. They try to get some room. Alan Pinkett tries to get him out of jail, but he only got a yard. Now back to NFL Live in New York.
There's 32-31. Back to Don and Ahmad.
Thank you, Bob. Who's the lucky guy gets to sit next to Ditka on the flight back? Throw and a catch at the 12-yard line. On a second down and 9 play, it's good for a gain of about 7 yards. As we again check the 10-minute with 3 late touchdowns, beat the Bills, and there you see it. Actually, Ditka doesn't have you have to drive home with him today. He was at home against Tampa Bay. He also lost to him at Tampa. Downfield throw to Ernest Gibbons. Warren Moon with the strike. On 3rd down and 3, it's good for a gain out to the 26-yard line.
Warren Moon having an excellent game, making all the right decisions. The referees are now making a decision, and that is to bring this play back.
Anybody, they're great on 3rd down today, are the Oilers, Ahmad.
77 offense, half the distance penalty, still 3rd down.
They are 100% holding.
So the play is negated, and now it's 3rd down and 9 as Moon against a rush throws from the end zone and makes the connection to Alonzo Highsmith, and he's ahead for a Houston first down. Powerful Alonzo Highsmith. 6'1", 235 pounds. Dad's a football coach here in Houston at Texas Southern.
Highsmith, known for his blocking ability, shows that he has an all-around game. He's a great runner. Here showing he can receive the ball too. And gets it up the field. Doesn't waste any time trying to go left and right. He just takes it right on.
Oilers with a little more room to work now. Starting at their 5, they go back to the run. Rozier at 5'10", 200 pounds takes on Raiders and butts them back. Eddie Anderson finally knocked him down, but Mike Rozier's ahead for a gain to the 35-yard line.
Goes out and he's extra motivated to try to show that, hey, I can play too.
Interesting about that was Rozier's longest run of the season, 16 yards. First and 10 from the 36. Game is tied 7-7. Swing pass goes, and Tracy Johnson, a big back, 6 feet, 232 pounds, swings ahead for a gain out to about the 44-yard line. Gain of 8 on the play.
And Warren Moon just...
Niners. Rozier runs again, and on a 2nd down and 2 play, he breaks it ahead for a gain of 9 yards and an Oiler first down. So the Oilers really getting off the ball on offense with Yarno at center, Munchak and Matthews their Pro Bowl guards, Steinkuhler and Davis the tackles. Bob Golick shaken up.
And Golick is a player that came over here to the Raiders from Cleveland. I think he's already shaking his head saying, yeah, I'm fine. But he is a guy.
The gear down for the moment. We're back and set to go now. It is 1st down and 10 at the 47-yard line for the Oilers. Game tied, as you see, 7-7. Don Criqui with Ahmad Rashad as Warren Moon eludes the rush. And away from Davis and then grounds the ball. They rule it's a legal forward try. There was a receiver near the ball, Haywood Jeffries.
What a contrast in this Houston Oilers football team. They are wild and crazy and like to hit everything moving, but their quarterback is a very analytical, intelligent, I mean, just a great player, soft-spoken guy. He's so different from the head coach and the rest of the team, but boy, he is excellent. Bob Golick, one of the guys that went, ooh, we're afraid of that house of pain, was just escorted off the field under the assistant of the trainer and the doctor. But I think he's okay.
Some of that knockout sauce on him.
Put that knockout sauce on him, wake him right up.
He'll be back. 2nd down and 10 comes up now for Warren Moon and the Oilers. What a throw. Timing pattern to Curtis Duncan, who took the cornerback deep and then turned out. And Warren Moon, who throws about the tightest spiral in the league, just rocketed one right on his numbers.
Throws the prettiest ball in the league. Now, when you talk about a quarterback throwing the ball and guys say he threw it on a rope, watch Curtis Duncan make this out move and watch the way that ball gets to him. That's what they mean by throwing the ball on a rope. That's about a 35-yard throw straight across the field, and Warren Moon threw it like he was playing catch in the backyard with his son. Just effortless.
That was about 35 yards in the air, 15 yards downfield for a first down. Averaging 7 yards in offensive play. That average going up on the last 2 as they get 13 yards and another first down. I tell you, they're busting open the Raider defensive front.
And you can credit a little bit of this to Bo Jackson. I'm telling you, when Bo shows up, everybody plays better, including the other team. Highsmith also getting a chance to run through that secondary, and that's what they like. Once you get past those linebackers, they're not afraid to run over one of them defensive backs. They actually look them up. Let me find the defensive back to run over.
George Yarno, the center, with a good block on Piquel, who's in at nose tackle for the Raiders in the absence of Golick, who was shaken up. Rozier trying to cut back, and he is struck and knocked down at about the 17-yard line. A first down carry good for about 4. Jerry Robinson, back after missing some games with a concussion, made the stop.
And Jerry Robinson is just wavering now.
Some of the things on NFL Live today, the sports headlines. Commissioner Tagliabue talked about NFL drug policy.
Was that real or was that a cutout?
It was a cutout. Downfield throw, and there's going to be a marker down. Lionel Washington interfered with the receiver, Ernest Gibbons. Lionel protests too much. He was guilty. It's quite apparent when we look at it back.
Pass interference. Number 48 defense. Ball put in the end zone. 1st and goal, 1-yard line.
And Ernest Gibbons is limping around on that left ankle.
He really is.
Here's another look at that play. Gibbons just with a speed move gets by Lionel Washington. Washington now, you can't touch him after 5 yards. He's got his left arm on him right there. Runs up the back of his heel. And the referee is right in front, pulls the flag, throws it. If you're going to do something sneaky, you got to do it on the referee.
Now we go to live action. Penalty call against Washington. And the Oilers go 1st and goal. They're not going to get there, though. They lost about a yard as Rozier tried to pound it in. Coach Glanville getting set to call another play. He calls the offenses and defenses.
And ex-defensive coordinator himself.
Getting over his snake bite. He told us a frightening story. He was walking around a pair of shower clogs looking at somebody's new house and standing in tall grass. Thought a board flipped over and got him with 2 nails. He said 30 seconds later, his foot didn't look like a foot. So swollen. Water moccasin got him. So the good news is the snake died. Again, they try it. This time they, whoa, is that good for a touch? He's out of the end zone. Play fake to Rozier by Warren Moon. Then he lofts it down at the end, the back of the end zone, trying to get the ball to Chris Verhulst.
And they did not fool the Raiders on that one.
So 3rd down and goal. Just got his hands on it. So now in this tie game, 7-7, 5:13 to play in the first half. Oilers go 3rd and goal. Not going to do it. Mike Rozier is stopped again. As again the Raiders shoot those quick inside backers. Thomas Benson, 54, jumping into a gap, making a hit. Eddie Anderson coming up to play the run. And the Oilers have to go for the field goal now. They send out their kicker.
The Raiders like this. Now this is just in a situation down inside.
Win if they goal them a field goal.
Right down inside the 5-yard line. It's like your guys against our guys. Let's just see who's the best. And anytime that you get some sort of a mismatch like that, the Raiders feel like they have the plus. And they showed they did have the plus. They kept them out of the end zone. Now they've got to try to settle for 3 points. Psychologically, it doesn't hurt so bad.
Almost like an extra point as Zendejas powers the field goal attempt up and good. So for a second time in the game, the Oilers take the lead. They're now in front 10-7 with 4:21 to play in the first half. Oilers kick it off when we come back. Game against the Redskins on October 29th. A serious concussion. Said him out. He realized how serious it was when he really realized where he was. He missed Halloween. He wondered where Halloween went. He's hurt in the 29th. He didn't come around until about November 1.
Well, he just took a major blow a minute ago and appeared to be knocked out, but he would not leave the game. He is a tough player and one of the heart and soul players of this Raider defense.
Runs and tackles, forces fumbles. Robinson from UCLA, where he was a first-team All-American, later a #1 draft choice of the Eagles. Drop ball picked up. Sometimes these go, and this one does out to the 30-yard line. Tim Ware, a wide receiver from Southern California, starts with the Oiler, just like they like it. Raiders are down to, there's one of the best players in the NFL, defensive end, Ray Childress, Pro Bowl player last January. He leads the Raiders, or the Oilers, with 7 sacks. Raiders trailing Houston 10-7. 4:11 to play in the first half. Beuerlein making the starting quarterback, goes to Bo. Jackson's knocked down by John Grimsley, 59, inside linebacker.
John Grimsley, just an intense linebacker that goes 100% every single play. Talked to Floyd Reese, his coach. I talked to Floyd Reese, his coach. He said he's just like Scott Studwell, a player that I played with in Minnesota, that just is tough as nails. Here, Childress keeps him on the line, and all of a sudden Grimsley comes in, gives Grimsley the ability to just make a straight shot at Bo Jackson. So it's nice to be able to play behind a guy like Ray Childress, because the offensive player never gets any depth and lets you roam behind the line of scrimmage freely.
It's the first time Bo has played against the Oilers. He's run 8 times for 54 yards. Here's his 9th. The play he loves, but the Oilers shut it down. Johnny Meads, number 91, reading it all the way, gets Bo in the backfield for a loss. So a 2nd and 8 play now becomes 3rd down and about 13. The Bears for a 2nd time this season. Possible upset in Candlestick, although a long way to go. Packers up on the 49ers by 7. Beuerlein with penalty markers down, fires on the run to Mervyn Fernandez, who makes the play at the 36-yard line and dives down to the 33. Oilers say the call will go against Houston, and it does.
It's offside in the Raiders. I think the right tackle moved just a little. Bruce Wilkerson looked like he moved a little bit before the snap.
Illegal motion, number 68, offense. 5 yards, repeat, 3rd down.
He called it on 68, Bruce Wilkerson's.
Bruce, where you see him just rocking back on his heels just before the ball snapped, and the referee right on top of that throws the flag, nullifying a pretty good play by Mervyn Fernandez. 40-yard catch. Nice throw also by Beuerlein.
Beuerlein has thrown for 6 touchdowns this year, the last to Mike Dial, 22 yards to tie the game. It's now 10-7 Oilers. He's only been intercepted 3 times. Third-year player from Notre Dame. Beuerlein with the deep drop. Gets time and throws downfield. It's incomplete. At the 42-yard line of Los Angeles, Mike Alexander was going for the ball. Steve Brown was defending. So the Raiders have to punt when we come back. At halftime, we'll go to Bob Costas and O.J. Simpson in New York, NFL Live. We have 1:58 to play in the first half. Here at the Astrodome, Don Criqui with Ahmad Rashad. It is 10-7, the Oilers over the Raiders. Beuerlein back in at quarterback. He has to go off the field now as they have 4th down coming up to the Raiders. 4th down and 17. And their punter, the ex-Oiler, Jeff Gossett, is back on the field.
The Raiders could be in some trouble here the way that the Oilers have been playing. Warren Moon has been picking them apart.
Very sharp.
2 minutes left to go. That's a lot of time.
Kenny Johnson is back deep for the Oilers. Gossett hits a beauty, a long, towering spiral. Fair catch made by Johnson at the 25-yard line. 52-yard punt by number 6, Jeff Gossett. Next Sunday, join NBC.
Starting a quarterback controversy in Buffalo, Don?
We've had a few of the Raiders. Here's a bad snap to Warren Moon, and he does very well to fall on the loose ball.
Speaking about those Buffalo Bills, it seemed to me that when Kelly went down, they rallied around Frank Reich.
They really did. Warren Moon, number 1, played collegiately at the University of Washington. Was the most valuable player in the Rose Bowl. Was not drafted by any NFL team. Went to Canada, quarterback 5 straight CFL championship teams. Was MVP in that league. Now he's knocking down a cool $2 million a year. Is one of the best in the NFL. Here's a perfect strike, but a hard hit separates the receiver Curtis Duncan from the ball. And a penalty marker is also down at the line of scrimmage.
This is the
illegal motion, number 77, offense. Penalty decline, 3rd down.
Just moving a little bit too soon, but this is the ball. You know you're going to get hit on this ball, so you might as well catch this ball because you're going to get hit if you don't catch it anyway. So you just take that lick for nothing. That's one of those things. Every receiver in the National Football League, there comes a time that you're going to get hit regardless, so you might as well catch it.
Snap to Warren Moon. To Alan Pinkett, who's caught from behind and thrown down by Scott Davis. 6'7", 275. A rather interesting development at Cleveland. They played a full period of overtime football, full 15 minutes. Nobody scored. So as they say, a tie is like kissing your sister, but that's better than kissing your brother. They both come away with a half game won and a half game lost. Kansas City 10, Cleveland 10.
That was a perfectly set up screenplay. One man killed it. Number 70, Scott Davis.
Oilers open the scoring on a 10-play drive. Warren Moon to Curtis Duncan. Touchdown from 25 yards out. It was 7-0. Beuerlein came back and hit Dial on a 22-yarder for a Raiders score. And a field goal by Zendejas makes it the way it is now, a 10-7 game. Long punt downfield. Stephon Adams running it back. And he's to the 41-yard line where Los Angeles goes on offense. 1st and 10 with 65 ticks left in the 2nd quarter. I guess still not sure when Marcus can come back with that knee problem.
He said he'd be available next week.
Next week he's going to be in uniform, huh?
He didn't know if he'd be in uniform, but he's eligible to come off next week.
Beuerlein on 1st down from the shotgun, stands in, throws a hard ball over the middle of the field, trying to hit Vance Mueller, who can't get to the ball. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Bubba McDonald.
Come out of there at least with my life. Jeff Donaldson was waiting for him.
That's got to be your first objective. Live through it. Beuerlein, 2nd and 10. Whoa, a free tip and an interception. The ball is picked up by Tracy Eaton. He's on the run, lateraling. They go to the option play, and from behind, a hard stick is put on Donaldson, the free safety who ran it back on the pitch. But with 41 seconds to play in the half, a tip ball is an Oiler interception, and now the Oilers have 41 seconds to work with. Colorado Buffaloes do that against Nebraska, that open field pitch. Warren Moon rolling out on first down. He throws a strike to Curtis Duncan, and he darts out of bounds just short of a first down, stopping the clock. Well, the clock never started on the play. Nice to have a hometown score timekeeper. It's still at 41 seconds.
The tough thing, Don, on interceptions is that offensive players don't do any tackling. They haven't played.
A major mistake there. They never ran any time off the clock on that play. It had to take at least 6 seconds. Still 41 seconds left. Handoff up the middle. Look at Alonzo Highsmith. Bust it down to the 15-yard line. Now the Oilers call a timeout, and the clock is stopped with 34 seconds. They never ran any time off on that first pass play. Break for the Oilers. His condition will be reevaluated at halftime. Ernest Givens, now we're told, has a slight ankle sprain.
Slight, the most overused word in football.
Warren Moon takes a look, goes to the end zone, and an interference call goes on the defender, and the one official coming from way off the plate threw a flag. Another right on top of it never threw a flag. Ruled it was incidental contact. Now a holding call is signaled against the Raiders.
Holding, number 22, defense.
In the end zone.
Not yet. They still have 30 seconds left on the clock. First down and 10 from the 10. Moon throws it in. He's got an open man. Touchdown. Leonard Harris with the reception.
And talking to Warren Moon yesterday, that's the man he talked about, Leonard Harris.
Moon with 15 completions, 22 throws, 2 for touchdowns. Harris with the touchdown reception. He's caught 2 for 29, so the Oilers capitalize on the tip ball that was intercepted. And with 25 seconds left in the half, they've taken a high spinning kick down to the 1-yard line. Here comes Stephon Adams, busting it straight up the middle, and he gets the ball to the 24-yard line. 20 ticks left now for the Raiders. We'll be hoping that guy on the clock jumps. Looks like they might just collect their winnings. They're just going to take it, run it out. Rather than throw the deep ball, the Raiders elect to run out the clock, and so the Oilers take a 10-point lead. Coach Glanville has to be well pleased with that. A 10-point halftime advantage, 17-7 his Oilers lead. They led it 7-0. It was tied 7-7. The Oilers went up 10-7, and then with the second touchdown pass by Warren.
Any moment. So with him not having any catches so far, still he is effective on the football field. There are not many players in the league that are like that. But if you look at his average per catch, 25.8, anytime he touches the ball at any point in the game, he can turn this whole thing around.
They're going to be going to him maybe right away, as it'll be the Raiders receiving to start the third quarter. There is Zendejas, who hit the field goal. 3 of the 17 Oiler first half points. Of course, he kicked the field goal, a 28-yarder Monday night against the Bengals with time running out to give the Houston Oilers that 2-point win over Cincinnati. Zendejas hits a spinner downfield. It'll carry down to the 5-yard line. Running it back from there is Tim Ware, who breaks it for the moment. And do the Oilers have it? It looks like they might. Ware coughed it up, and the Oilers have the ball.
Number 22, Kenny Johnson, is a big play player. He makes things happen. He's an old man. He's been around a long time, but the ball is coughed up, and who is right? Johnny on the spot? Kenny on the spot, Ken Johnson. He runs a 5.1 40, and Jerry Glanville says he's got other guys on that special team that run 4.5.
Conduct, number 67.
Len Montgomery knocked it loose.
15 yards from here, first down.
Now here comes the penalty. He's out of bounds. The play's over. Kenny Johnson tries to walk back on the field, and somebody pops him.
An ill-advised move that gives the Oilers almost point-blank range for points to start the third quarter. They're in field goal range already. The ball at the 19-yard line. There's Tim Brown in the brown jacket. He's out for the season with a knee injury.
The ball just pops up, and Kenny Johnson right on top of it. Very heady ball player.
So it's 1st and 10 for Houston as they go to the run on a counter. Rozier, holding the ball in one hand, takes it down to the 13-yard line. A first down carry on the play. Good for a gain of about 7 yards.
Don, I tell you, Mike Rozier, I'm telling you, you have Bo Jackson coming here. Mike Rozier saying, listen, I won the Heisman Trophy also. So this is a showdown between me and Bo Jackson. There you see Mike Rozier. So he's got very strong hands, able to hold that ball in one hand, and Rozier outrushed Bo Jackson in the first half. Rozier had 10 carries for 47 yards. Bo Jackson 9 for 50.
He now has 11 for 53. This is his best outing of the season, Ahmad. Mike Rozier. 2nd and 4. Back to the run, and again they go to that counter play. This time it's power back Alonzo Highsmith, taking it inside the 10-yard line down to the 8. It makes it 1st down and goal for Houston.
Anytime you run a cutback play, you got to have backside blocking. Number 78, Don Maggs of Houston, clears the ball, clears it back on the backside, and enables Highsmith to break that ball back and get a clear running start at one of those linebackers.
Because of injuries, George Yarno was dinged in the first half. Bruce Matthews, a Pro Bowl guard, has moved to center. Don Maggs, 78, is in at right guard for the Oilers. Davis and Munchak on the left side. Steinkuhler, the right tackle.
And Matthews has played all 5 positions on the line.
On 1st and goal, Rozier finds nothing and loses 2 yards back to the 11-yard line. Howie Long caught him and threw him down.
Howie Long playing for the first time in a couple of years without any injuries, and they say he is an excellent player. He's back to where he was a couple of years ago.
Bob Golick, a concussion in the first half, has not returned.
I talked to Howie yesterday, and Howie said, you know, it's just so much more fun to get back to the old Raider way. Just line up, and we will see who's the best. I mean, they're very loose. The Raiders are not as stiff as they were under Shanahan. Now they're just out realizing that winning football is what it takes.
Well, today they're finding out they're not the best lining up because the Oilers with a dominance in yardage and points in the first half. 250 yards on offense to 96 for the Raiders. And a 17-7 lead, which could soon be expanded on as the Oilers are down close again. To Toke Loco in
Tone low.
Yeah, tuned in I am, right? He's playing in the house all day. I don't know who he is. Curtis Duncan gets a ball over the middle down to the 3-yard line.
Toke Loco. Another look. Warren Moon looking to find somebody open over the middle. Just fires the ball in there. Excellent pass by Warren Moon. Very good catch. Curtis Duncan. You have kids, Don. You should know the name of these new dance groups. It's Tone Loc.
That's it. I know his music though. Get a wild thing. Zendejas with a 20-yard field goal attempt is up and good. But a penalty marker's down.
12 men on defense, penalty declined, point good, field goal good.
Well, it makes sense. It's a lot easier to block one when you got 12 guys on the defense.
13 or 14 guys might help.
High kick hit downfield to Stephon Adams at the 2-yard line. He'll run it back from there for the Raiders. Picking his way, there was no hole, and he didn't get much. He's to the 17-yard line. Here comes Mojo, the ace T picker-upper. Now you got to watch Mojo as he finishes. Here he goes.
Mojo making that wide turn.
Mojo
He used to be a lot faster. Yeah, he used to be a lot faster.
All right, my man.
Mojo with a T-spike.
They have this crazy George in the stands beating his drum for. Didn't he used to be up with the Raiders in Oakland?
He was also at Minnesota. I mean, have money. Crazy George will show up. You could have him at a birthday party. You got the right amount of cash.
Needs to start hitting the throws as his team is down by 13 early in the third quarter. Play fake gives him time, lets her go long, and Fernandez takes it for a first down out to the 32-yard line.
When I was talking about Willie Gault earlier, Willie Gault makes this play possible. He lines up on the left side of the field and just takes off deep, clearing the entire side of the left side of the field. And then here comes Fernandez coming across. Beuerlein with a great throw here, but it was Willie Gault who cleared that other side. That's what a guy with a lot of speed can do. Here's Willie Gault. He takes Patrick Allen with him, clears out that side, and Fernandez comes right across. You got that good speed. You always got to be aware of him.
Just like they planned it, he clears it out, and Fernandez makes the catch. It's Gault in motion. Beuerlein with time again, but running out of it. Throws on the run, and the ball is caught at the 40-yard line. Willie Gault makes the catch. Good for a gain of about 7. Giants extend their lead over Seattle to 12-0 in the third quarter. Packers and 49ers tied in the third quarter at Candlestick. Rams blowing out the Phoenix Cardinals. Rams back in form.
They had their little dip in the middle of the season, but if you're going to have one, you want to have it then. Between now and the end of the season is where the real playoff teams start to rise.
Beuerlein and his offense set with a 2nd down and 2. Ball came loose, but they, I believe, ruled that Bo was down just short of a first down.
Bo Jackson running so low and powerful in there. You got to get on him in a hurry. You let him get started, he's out the other end in a hurry. Just a power play up front. Just a matchup play. Give the ball to Bo Jackson. Let him just power in the middle.
Ooh.
The ball comes out a little bit, but Bo's right on top of it. Bounces down by his leg.
3rd down and less than a yard as they go down the Houston wave here at the Astrodome. Remember in the first half on 4th and less than a yard, they lined up in the eye with Bo the deep back, Smith the blocking back. Bo took it ahead for 11 yards in a first down. This is 3rd and less than 1. Play fake. Beuerlein can't make the connection as he tries to swing it out to Strahan, number 39.
Now you see Beuerlein's leadership.
I think he was looking for a deep pattern that was never run.
It was a great call. You just have to make the plays.
Nobody ran a deep pattern.
But those are the things that keep the offense going. You've got to make that play. And Beuerlein, very well aware of that. And boy, he leads by example. You just can't drop that ball. Everything is set up for you. Everybody's fooled by the play pass into the middle. You're wide open, and you drop the ball.
Raiders are going to go for it. 9:29 to play in the third quarter. 4th down, half a yard. Jackson, the I-back, gets the ball, and Bo is ahead for a Los Angeles first down.
That is Raider football. If they're going to challenge you. They're behind in this game. They got a half a yard to go. I mean, to concede that and punt is almost to concede that we can't do anything. Once again, they line up. Boy, they got it looked like there's no air between those players as they line up in there, but Bo Jackson finds a crack and pounds it through for the first down. That'll do a lot for the confidence of this offensive team.
You pointed out about Gault is so true, Ahmad. They've been doubling him all game. He has cleared open spaces, has only 1 8-yard reception. Beuerlein stands in. The play is whistled dead.
They had Bo Jackson lined up. They got a little bit of chicken. Well, you know, you don't fight with somebody's got their helmet off there.
Wisniewski, the rookie.
Well, put your helmet on. He's saying he hit me first. Referee telling him to keep your helmet on.
2nd round draft choice. Now Gordon McCarter says.
False start, right guard offense, 5 yards.
But he just tackled Ray Childress at the end of that play, and I think that's what started it. Childress is just an aggressive player that comes 100 miles, and he's not even bothered by this. It's like, relax, son.
Gives the Raiders a lot of yardage needed, though. First down and 15. They trail to the Raiders 20-7, third quarter. Swing pass, a little low for Bo. Poorly thrown ball by Beuerlein. That wasn't Jackson's fault.
Tough ball to catch when you're fading away like that. And Beuerlein taking the responsibility. He looks over at Bo and goes, my fault. But when you swing out like this, the way Bo is, he's swinging out and running away. And Beuerlein throws the ball a little bit low and behind. And that is a tough ball to catch. You want to try to keep your eyes downfield to look at the defense and then just reach back and make the catch. But when it's low like that, very hard to make that catch. If anybody has a chance to, it's Bo Jackson.
Now Bo comes out to the left. They have him split out as a wide receiver.
I look for Bo to go deep here, just a straight fly pattern.
Second and 15, a deep drop by Beuerlein. In trouble, he's going to have to unload on the run. He does, and he has a man open. Dial, the tight end, but he caught it out of bounds. Mike Dial, the tight end, who caught the 22-yard touchdown pass to open the Raiders scoring, their only score so far. Caught the ball but didn't have both feet in.
Beuerlein looking downfield, trying to find, he's looking at Dial the entire time. Now Dial gets hung up a little bit. Now he starts to run to the sideline. The ball thrown just a little bit wide, and Dial unable to make the catch with his feet in bounds, and it's signaled no good by the coach there with the headsets on for the Houston Oilers. That's Floyd Reese doing a little refereeing work.
Dial, the first-year tight end, played at Texas A&I. He's from Kerrville, Texas, the Raider tight end. Third and 15 for the Raiders. Fernandez can't hold on at the 43. It might have been tipped a bit by Patrick Allen, number 29. Ball was right there, but Fernandez couldn't come down with it.
Patrick Allen made a good play. Right at the end, you see Mervin Fernandez, 86, and Patrick Allen, 29. Watch him go up and just get in the way before the ball gets to Mervin Fernandez. And
Gossett punts it downfield, a low punt that forces a fair catch, and then Johnson lets it roll, and the Raiders down it at the 33-yard line. So with 8 minutes and 9 seconds left to play in the third quarter, the Houston Oilers with a 20-7 lead take over the ball. Astrodome in Houston. Bo Jackson with 11 carries, 53 yards. At 48 in his first 5 rushes. In his last 6, they've held him to just 5 yards. Howie Long, number 75, ready to dig in on defense now. The only Raider who was with the team when they played in Oakland. He was with them in '81. 9th year out of Villanova. Oilers in the lead, 20-7, and they go to the run, and there's not much there. The first down carry. Scott Davis throws back Alonzo Highsmith, 32.
Now, I told you that Willie Gault does not have to catch passes in order to be effective. Willie Gault here cleans this area out. Vance Mueller cleans it out. Then all of a sudden, Mervin Fernandez will come in this area here where they've cleaned it out. When you got that tremendous speed like Willie Gault, watch him clear all these people out. He's gone deep. Here comes Fernandez across the middle, but Patrick Allen makes a pretty nice play just to get in the way and deflect that ball or take away some concentration from Fernandez, and he misses it.
There's penalty markers on the field after the last play. A no yardage carry by Alonzo Highsmith.
Howie Long, I talked about him being back at full speed. That last time he had a bull rush and just ran his man right back into the play. Howie Long, when he is healthy, there are very few that are better than him.
5 straight years Howie Long went to the Pro Bowl.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 52 in the defense. After the play, 15 yards from the dead ball spot, first down.
Lyndon King called for the foul. Raiders are self-destructing with some very inopportune personal fouls. Never an opportune one.
And Art Shell, a little bit disappointed there on the side, but he is such a calm man. I mean, when they tried to go back to the old Raiders, they brought in the right person. He's a guy that everybody respects. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the greatest players to ever play. And Lyndon King getting a penalty for kicking. put that Rydell on him.
Yes, he did. The hitting surface. Handoff, and sliding up the middle is Rozier. Doesn't get a whole lot. On a first down carry, he does cross midfield and get to the Raider 48-yard line. Jerry Robinson knocked him down. Bo Jackson
in a mellow mood. They have quieted Bo down a little bit this second half, but he's another one of those players that could explode at any moment. You just can't ever relax anytime that he's on the field. Bo wearing that earring as he plays, keeps the jewelry on.
You can afford that. 240 million people in America, in a sports crazy nation. He's probably the most famous athlete now.
And should be.
Second down and a long 6 comes up, almost 7 for the Oilers. A long ball, running, flying downfield is Alan Pinkett. He can't get to the ball. Good coverage by the linebacker. Thomas Benson, who was a Plan B free agent, was with New England last year. A very fast linebacker, as evidence there.
That's what they like to do. They like to get one of their speedy running backs man-to-man on one of those linebackers and just see how fast he can run.
Rams are rolling over Phoenix right now, 27-0 in the third quarter. Giants looking to go to 9-2. Niners looking to go to 10-1. Homer on the road. They're the most consistent team in the league. Good teams they play well against, bad teams they play well against. Rozier runs into one of his own guys and then fights ahead on a third down carry, 3rd down and 7. He doesn't get there. He's to the 45-yard line, and the Oilers will send out their punter. Thomas Benson on the tackle.
Once again, Howie Long causing that play. He is just power rushing. You watch Howie Long, number 75. You'll see him come into the picture. Rozier takes the ball. Howie Long just runs his man right back into Rozier, and Rozier does a fine job of just getting back up near the line of scrimmage.
Greg Montgomery, a long-distance punter, averaging almost 45 yards a punt. On the field, Stephon Adams is back for the Raiders.
This Houston Oilers team cannot afford to let down because these Raiders are dangerous.
Dishman will down the ball at the 12-yard line. So the Raiders will try to get it going again, trailing 20.
Settle down here because the Raiders have one of those quick strike offense with Bo Jackson on the field and Willie Gault. They could score at any time.
Beuerlein on first down, letting it go long. Bo Jackson can't quite get to the ball.
You see the end of that play now? Bo Jackson put on a little burst of speed that all of a sudden he was by that defensive back. Had he put on a huge burst and caught that ball, he is Superman. Watch right at the end. Once the ball goes up in the air, now Bo's putting on the speed, just zips right by him.
Trying to get Bo to get the big play. They've run the 33 pitch, the weak side toss to Bo 33 times in the last 3 games, but it hasn't been working much today. Beuerlein fires. Fernandez holds on this time on a 2nd and 10 play. He's ahead for a gain of 20 yards and a first down.
And talk about the Raiders repeating plays. It cuts down on mental errors. It's called execution. If you can execute the play perfectly, then the play's got to work. It doesn't matter. You don't have to trick anybody. Here's the play we've been talking about. Willie Gault lines up on the left side, clears out the middle, and then here comes Fernandez coming around behind him, right over the middle.
Nice throw, too.
Great throw by Steve Beuerlein, and they pick up a big 20 right there.
Raiders need a touch. They're down 20-7. 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Last year was a shootout, back and forth, went the lead, 38-35. The Oilers won it in the last play of the game, and there's the first sack of the game. William Fuller with 5.5 sacks now this season for Houston, and he gets Steve Beuerlein. That'll bring up 2nd down and about 15.
Steve Beuerlein is looking to unload the bomb to Willie Gault, but Fuller has other ideas.
NBC statistician Elliot Kalb just handed me a note that the Beuerlein wall just was broken down. Would you accept that, Ahmad?
Well, I'm going to pretend like I didn't hear that one.
That's Elliott's. That's his. This is the same guy last year when Warren Moon got sacked. Had a total eclipse of the moon when he got Elliott.
Comedy writer.
Here is Beuerlein firing, and it's almost intercepted by John Grimsley. Running the out pattern. Grimsley covering it. From the University of Kentucky, John Grimsley, a very consistent player for the Oilers.
And Beuerlein here, this ball thrown a little bit underneath and almost picked off. But the interesting thing is Willie Gault has run a deep pattern every single play. I mean, just a speed burner. There's John Grimsley.
Another big down arises for the Raiders, who have a lot of ground to make up, trailing 20-7. This is 3rd down and 14 coming up as Beuerlein's in the shotgun. Four-man rush. He stands in and makes the throw. It's incomplete at the 46-yard line. Almost caught by Vance Mueller. Came in a bit low, and the Raiders have to punt the ball.
In any drive, any offensive drive, there has to be some great plays made. You have to do something extra. And Beuerlein, or you have Gossett come in and kick the ball.
Gossett comes in to kick the ball, and very well. Driving Johnson, the return man back. He signals and makes a fair catch at his 21-yard line. A 51-yard punt by Gossett. But the Oilers have the ball and the lead when we come to play in the 3rd quarter. Oilers 20, Raiders 7. Rozier tries to run, doesn't get much, and a first down carry and a penalty marker's down.
George Anderson, the trainer there for the LA Raiders, trying to keep Bo Jackson loose. Bo can do everything. Take his leg and put it all up behind his back.
I know George knows what he's doing. He's one of the best.
Holding,
very valuable
number
legs.
74 offense. 10 yards, repeat first down.
Very valuable legs he was moving around there.
George, he's another wonderful guy. Been around the league a long time, and he's another guy that part of this job that I like is getting a chance to visit with these kind of people every single week, because George is just a treasure.
Well, he, of course, is the designer and has the patent on the famous Anderson knee brace. Working Bo over pretty good there. I think Bo might be ready to do something big, Ahmad.
He's going to have to get him back in this game.
First down and 20. Howie Long putting the heat on quarterback Warren Moon, who got rid of it in his end zone.
Howie Long and Scott Davis putting that pressure on one. Good play for him to get rid of that ball.
The skirmishes have settled down. One guy you don't want to get in a fight with is Long. He was a college boxing champion.
And he just knocked the guy down in front of him, and he's so quick. He just, when I first saw Howie Long, he's a guy that, you know, when I first started this game, only linebackers or running backs had this kind of agility. Here's a huge guy like this that can play basketball, can play football, probably can play baseball. Little league, not in the pros.
Right now, he'll be teeing off to try to get Warren Moon again. Is on 2nd and 20. Moon throws from the shotgun. Makes the connection to Ernest Givens, and he's to the 21-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 12. Good to see Givens back.
Jerry Robinson.
Raiders go back to Los Angeles to play their next 3 at the Coliseum: New England, Denver, and Phoenix. But they need this one badly. Let's see if Howie Long was drawn off by head movement. They line him up all over. He's like an unguided missile out there. Over the nose at defensive end.
And just a little bit too quick there. I guess if you're going to be offsides, be way offsides. Old Jerry Burns used to say, if you mess up big.
75 defense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Those kind of penalties really don't bother the Raiders. I mean, you don't want to kill anybody's aggression. Jump off sides one time, he'll make up for it. And that's not going to bother Howie. You notice he jumped off sides, and Mike Haynes came up, pat him on the butt, and just kept clapping. There's Fred Biletnikoff talking to Jerry Robisky on the left. Fred Biletnikoff on the right, one of the greatest receivers ever to play this game.
He coaches the Raider wide receivers. Robisky coaches the tight ends. Warren Moon on 3rd down and 6. throw and a catch. Leonard Harris is ruled out of bounds, though, and Warren Moon took a real shot as the Raiders are now breaking through that pass defense of the Oilers.
I think Warren was just a little upset that he threw the ball too far wide, because he popped right up after that. Warren rolling out here, lets the ball go.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's tripped down by Greg Townsend. I wonder if he takes any of that taekwondo or whatever. Yeah, Townsend.
I think he's a martial arts expert.
Oh, he is. That was a nice little move there he put on Warren Moon with his leg.
Third punt of the game for the Oilers. Montgomery, who hit a 55-yarder and a 33-yarder. Out of Michigan State, standing back at his 12-yard line. Unloads a line drive. Stephon Adams picks it up for the Raiders. Penalty markers down as Adams lost yardage on the return. They really missed Tim Brown.
Tim Brown, you can't lose a guy like that, who is probably the best kick returner in football. There's Tim Brown right there on the sideline, looking rather dapper. I'm sure he would love to get in the game. They also lost Bobby Joe Edmonds.
Illegal block in the back, number 92 receiving team during the return. 10-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
Emmanuel King. We check the scoreboard. Cleveland and Kansas City playing through Vikings. Tampa Bay beat the Bears for a second time this season, winning today at Chicago. Giants extending their lead to 15-0 over Seattle. Hand off straight up the middle, and the Oilers rush it down. Tonight on NBC, triple your fun. Second and 7 for Beuerlein and the Raiders. They're down 20-7. Long ball. Fernandez is there, and he makes the catch at the 39-yard line. So the Raiders hit their biggest play of the day, 38 yards. Their only scoring play, a 22-yard touchdown throw from Beuerlein to Dial.
The Raiders are not shy about throwing this ball down the field. Mervin Fernandez is starting to live up to that billing that he got when he came out of the Canadian League as being a great receiver. And Beuerlein sees that matchup over there with Steve Brown, man-to-man, and says, I'll take that. The Raiders like this kind of a matchup. And an excellent throw by Steve Beuerlein.
Great second look. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. The producer of today's game is Terry Ewert. Director Ted Nathanson. 1:37 to go in the third quarter. Raiders looking to get close. Pump fake. Penalty markers. Downfield throw, and it's intercepted at the 5-yard line. Let's see what the marker is. There's a marker down at the line of scrimmage.
It was a bad decision on Beuerlein. Just ball thrown up there for grabs, and they had a lot of Oiler defenders deep.
Steve Brown was the guy who came down with it.
Illegal motion, 34 offense, penalty decline, 1st and 10.
Bo Jackson going in motion to the right side, turned up the field just a little bit too soon. They were trying to get him out in the pass pattern. We aren't able to see it here, but he's going in motion to the right, and he turns up the field a little bit too soon. And you see Steve Brown, he just playing the deep ball the entire way. Just takes off and waits for on the ball. Nothing that Willie Gall can do but make the tackle.
Steve Brown, an Oregon Duck, with the interception.
Fighting Duck, Oregon Fighting Duck.
Brown got it, and now the Oilers start out with a 20-7 lead. 1st and 10 at their 5. We're in the third quarter, as you saw, 1:31 to play in it. Rozier working for yards, not many, might have gotten 2 to make it 2nd down and 8.
Jerry Glanville letting Rozier play quite a bit today. As I mentioned earlier, that in a tough game like this, you need a tough guy like Rozier on the football field. He's one of these guys that rises to the occasion, and I guarantee you, he's matching his yards with Bo Jackson's. Two former Heisman Trophy winners.
There are the numbers between the Heisman runners. Jackson of the Raiders and Rozier of the Oilers. Bo's been well over 100 his last 3 games. This is his lowest production since he's been back. The best outfielder in the National Football League, looking to break the big one. Alan Pinkett breaks it ahead, and it looks like he has a first down.
Alan Pinkett showing he wants to get in that category. Let's put my stats up there next to Bose and Rozier. He's a very quick runner, finds a little gap and squirts through it, gets by Greg Townsend there, number 93, and just constantly going forward. He's a small but very strong Alan Pinkett.
He and Beuerlein of the Raiders played 3 years together in the Notre Dame backfield. Pinkett ended up the all-time leading rusher for Notre Dame, and Beuerlein.
Credit Jerry Glanville for putting an exciting football team in this dome. I really think they're one of the more exciting teams in the entire National Football League.
In this building, they're about as tough to beat as any club in the league at home. Alan Pinkett weaving his way on first down, gets out to about the 19-yard line, maybe the 20. Gain of 3 yards on the play.
And Don, you mentioned that they're so tough to beat in this building. I think last year when they made the playoffs and they had to go and play on the road, they realized that, you know, we were a pretty good team last year. We did make the playoffs, but in order to go further, we need home field advantage, and I think that's what they're playing for this year.
The numbers through 3 quarters, total yards. Raiders had a lot of yards in the third quarter to come closer, but 20-7 is the only number that count. The only number is 20-7. The Raiders trailing in this game as we're now opening the fourth quarter. First minute of play in it. Alan Pinkett getting a lot of work, but not much yardage. They'll bring up third down and about 8.
The Oilers are going to have to get something going. You cannot relax on these Raiders because of their quick strike capabilities.
Green Bay and San Francisco still tied up now in the fourth quarter at Candlestick Park.
Green Bay back. Are they back?
If they're not back, they're on the way back. Been a long time. They finally got a big-time quarterback, Don Mikowski. All the great ones don't come in the first round. He came in the 10th. Here's a long ball downfield. That's first down all the way down inside the 40-yard line. Haywood Jeffries beats the corner and is perfectly led again by Warren Moon for a 43-yard gain.
Warren Moon is spectacular. And you know what? I'm going to use a cliche here. This ball's on the money. It's on the money. That's what that means. Watch it. Perfect. A perfectly thrown pass by Warren Moon to Jeffries, and he didn't have to be wide open. Warren Moon, watch the way he's delivered. It's so effortless. He just shows tremendous touch. Tight spiral. Haywood Jeffries. Warren Moon, 18 for 27, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
Imagine this guy was never drafted by anybody. Handoff to Pinkett on first down, and he's to the 35-yard line.
Not drafted by anybody.
That was after he was MVP in the Rose Bowl. Hey, all's well that ends well. He's now a $2 million a year Pro Bowl quarterback.
Alan Pinkett, 5 rushes, 19 yards. And it's really, I'm telling you, this group of backs that they have here for the Oilers really keep a defense off balance. You got so many different kind of guys coming to you every time. Just when you're like bulk up to stop Highsmith, they give it to Pinkett.
The one Ahmad is very conspicuous in his absence in the playing field, although he's in uniform, is Lorenzo White, the former #1 draft choice out of Michigan State. Getting very little work. Here on second down, Warren Moon slides ahead and is very close to a first down. He had to get to the 28. He might be just short of it.
And Warren Moon saying, my fault. I thought the play was supposed to go right. It was a pretty good bootleg anyway. You talk about Lorenzo White. Jerry Glanville calls him Shrine Game because he runs east-west. It's tough to get playing time as a running back on this football team because they have so many quality backs and everybody plays so well.
Third down tells a big story, converting third downs.
Moon 7 for 8, 110 yards and a touchdown, all on third down.
Tried to trap block the Raiders, but they held their ground. Alonzo Highsmith rocketed ahead. What a player he is. Number 32, Alonzo Highsmith from Miami of Florida. Played with Don Shula's son in high school in Miami, and he only played one. I believe it's the first time in this game they have. And they tell a story of a foot short.
Talking about Alonzo Highsmith, I had fun with him before the game today. I was kidding him about the Fiesta Bowl when they went out there with those flak jackets and the Army uniforms, and Penn State put a whooping on them, and they snuck out of there in costumes.
And they came back the next year in one of the great games ever, beat Nebraska. And of course, January 1 of 1990 on NBC Sports. The indications are strong that it'll be number 1 Notre Dame and number 2 Colorado, although the Fighting Irish have to go to Miami this week to play the Canes. They lose there about once every 5 years. Zendejas booms a long one and extends the Oiler lead to 23-7. This game was tied briefly in the second quarter, 7-all, and since then, Ahmad, has been all Oilers.
The Oilers have just turned it. You know, in order to be successful in this league, at this time of the season, you have to turn it up a notch, and that's exactly what the Oilers are doing. They are really playing like one of the best teams in the National Football League. In
this building, they usually are one of the best. Of course, they're fighting for playoff position. They don't want to go back in as a wild card for a third straight year. Glanville has too many games on the road to go anywhere, and here is Stephon Adams, who breaks one out to the 38-yard line on the return with 10:17 to play. Beuerlein and the Raider offense comes out looking to pitch.
Stephon Adams, that is what he is wearing on the back of his head. It says Raiders, and this thing over here to the left, I could use a telestrator on this one, is a helmet with a pirate with an eye patch, and then number 44 on the right. He has his hair dyed gray. He has taken silver and black to a new level.
I take it takes some doing to get all that done on your head.
That's a fashion statement.
Made a statement. Here's Beuerlein, gets time, throws it over the middle. He's got Mueller. Vance Mueller turns the corner, and he is going to fight his way to the 49-yard line. A first down for the Raiders, who trail 23-7.
The Raiders missing a tight end like Todd Christensen, who can work so well underneath all this coverage. Here's another look. Beuerlein looking deep first, and then able to come off to Vance Mueller. After they've got all those linebackers run off deep, they got a guy working underneath, and Mueller makes a nice catch. Pretty nice run.
Beuerlein on first down makes the throw and the catch to Fernandez. Beautifully done by Fernandez, making that fingertip grab below the waist. Coming back at the ball. Good for a gain of almost 10 yards.
Mervin Fernandez, an excellent receiver. Beuerlein likes to go to him a lot. And talking to Fernandez and Willie Gault, Fernandez caught 5 passes for 101 yards. They said the other day they watched a reel of Freddie Biletnikov's catches. And I guarantee you, if you watch Freddie Biletnikov catch the ball, you will come out of that meeting and be a much better receiver. I told these guys they need to follow Freddie around, take notes whenever he speaks.
Well, he could do some catching, that Freddie.
It's a pair of the greatest hands that I've ever seen.
He had him loaded up too, didn't he?
He used to use a little stick-em on, but that stick-em doesn't work unless you can catch. Now look, Beuerlein looking for Fernandez. Watch, nice catch with the hands.
That's a real good catch.
Very good catch with the hands.
You'd be proud of that one.
I would be, and I bet you his coach, Freddie Biletnikov's proud of it. I talking to Freddie said, you know, I let these guys alone a little bit. I try to teach them, but I want them to still have fun and go out and play the game.
Well, they got to keep on pitching. Beuerlein checking off on the play now as he's looking at Gault. They double up Gault all game long. Donaldson cheats over the free safety. Beuerlein hesitates and is lost at the 48-yard line. Bears got him. Beuerlein did well not to fumble. He really got a shot on the ball.
They have got to try to get this ball to Willie Gault at some time. Beuerlein looking downfield. The Oilers with a tremendous rush and a very good play there by Eric Fairs, who was playing a lot because on the first play of the game, the Raiders lost Eugene Seal.
Yeah, he was ejected, was Eugene. Second down and 17 for Beuerlein and the Raiders. A throw, and it's too high and almost intercepted. The ball sailed on Beuerlein. There's also a penalty marker down right where he threw the ball. Could be a hold. It is. Raiders were holding, so it would have come back anyway.
You get in a situation.
They're going to decline this, I think.
Holding, number 60 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
This is a tough situation. Tough situation to be in. He did say that, didn't he, Don? But anytime you get behind like this and you got to throw the ball every play, the defense just tees off. There's no element of surprise. They know you're not going to run the ball, so they're just able to just take off running. There you see the hole there. Sean Jones being drugged down from the behind.
Big Sean Jones, pass rushing, an ex-Raider, who's dedicated this entire season to his great friend, the late Stacy Turan, the Raider who was killed in an automobile accident at the outset of the season. Mueller running, and markers are down again as the Raiders are misfiring all over the field, trying to open the way with blocks. That was a 2nd and 27 play.
One flag comes, they all come.
Could be heading to 2nd in the proverbial fortnight.
And so a legal receiver downfield. That's a tough thing about a play like that. If it takes too long for the play to develop.
Ineligible receiver, number 63, offense, downfield. Illegally downfield. 10 yards, repeat, second down.
There's a certain timing to every play, and Art Shell, knowing that because he was a great offensive tackle, that you count 1001, 1002, and then you take off running, but the ball was a little bit late. William Fuller, number 95, almost getting to Beuerlein. Beuerlein showing the knee not bothering him too much. Able to deliver the ball. But that little delay caused that illegal lineman downfield.
Second down and 37. Almost picked off. Steve Brown picked off one on Beuerlein today and almost had another.
Steve Brown, a very underrated defensive back. He is very, very good. Very aggressive.
Got 5 interceptions this year.
Studies the game, came back in last year, went on a weight program. He's a lot stronger. And the more you play this position, the better you get. You become a lot smarter. You just don't play on just athletic ability. You have a chance to read offenses and try to figure out where the ball is coming.
You got to have a good arm here now just to get it far enough for the first down with an 8-yard drop or more. 3rd and 37. Long ball. Galt going for it. And it's picked off at the 24-yard line by Chris Dishman.
They have a holding penalty, which I assume will be declined.
We've had 20 penalties today. 12 on the Raiders, and coming in, these were the 2 most penalized teams in the NFL.
Holding, number 60, offense, penalty declined, first down the other way.
Well, Don, you mentioned that the Raiders were self-destructing, and that's exactly what they're doing.
And they're running out of track now. Time 8:22 to go. Sean Jones with him. 8:22 to go, and the Oilers come out with that 23-7 lead as Beuerlein, somewhat rusty in his return after an absence of 2 games with a knee injury. Oilers will be looking to run the ball. Alan Pinkett weaving his way up the middle again, ahead for about 4 yards to the 28-yard line. Mike Harden tackled him.
Alan Pinkett with excellent body length. He didn't have a hole in front of him, broke it outside, and then turned it back up the field again. Pick up 4 or 5 yards.
Started every game from his freshman year on in college. Here's the ticker now as you see the Giants still holding to a substantial lead over Seattle. Green Bay has taken a 7-point advantage on the 49ers in the fourth quarter. Rams have made the Cardinals history amidst continuing rumors that Gene Stallings might be out as Phoenix's coach at the end of the season. On 2nd down and 5, Pinkett lost a couple of yards. Howie Long tackled him.
And Howie Long has been excellent today. He really has been a force in that Raider defensive front. Once again, Howie Long penetrating to make this play deep in the backfield. He just keeps coming at all times. He's one of those defensive linemen that never stops. You may think you have him blocked, but he's so intense and so aggressive that he's constantly looking for the ball player.
It's really good to see him back at these levels. A lot of people thought he wouldn't make it back. He had a calf injury, just couldn't shake. Now he feels good and is playing good again.
He's a throwback. Tough football player.
On 3rd and 6, Warren Moon lets her rip down the middle of the field and makes the connection for a first down to the 43-yard line. Leonard Harris, a free agent receiver from Texas Tech, makes the play.
And Jeffries gives him a hug. He's a little guy.
Everybody getting some today. And Warren Moon does spread the wealth. Here's a pitch back. This is Lorenzo White, who broke Big Ten rushing records as a Spartan in Michigan State. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Houston Oilers and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, of the Houston Oilers and the Los Angeles Raiders. All rights are reserved.
The Houston Oilers lost so many players to Plan B free agency last year, but yet and still they still have some depth. Jerry Glanville complained about it at the beginning of the season. He said, yeah, we still got the best special teams in the league. It's just that all our players are playing for different teams.
They lost 15 players to Plan B free agency. Glanville said at the time, it gutted our team, took away all our depth. Oilers go back to the run on a 2nd down and 12 play and advance the ball. Lorenzo White gets it ahead for a couple of yards.
It's so important in the National Football League at this point in the season to be healthy, to be able to make a run at the playoffs. Lorenzo White not getting much playing time, but he's got 3 other backs in front of him that are excellent players. But in talking about being healthy, you look at the Raiders, they got 3 Pro Bowl players on the sideline. Tim Brown, Marcus Allen, Bobby Joe Edmonds.
That's right. Another return man. 3rd and 9 for Warren Moon and the Oilers. Game clock down to 4:20 to play. Throw and a catch and a first down for Houston to the 45-yard line of Los Angeles. Leonard Harris makes another play. 5'8", 160.
And you see Haywood Jeffers, number 84, clearing this route out. Number 83 comes in right where Jeffries left off, and Harris makes a great play. I'm talking to Willie Brown before the game, the Hall of Fame cornerback that used to play for the Raiders, and he said the difference between this team now and us in the old days is depth. He said when he was playing in their heyday, guys were afraid to get hurt because they'd never get their position back.
That's the truth a lot of places. Davis was saying yesterday he really feels they're about 3 key players away from having a real standout football team again. Lorenzo White runs again.
Al Davis will find those 3 players. I guarantee you.
Week 11, Kansas City and Cleveland played through overtime with nary a score, and they ended in a 10-10 tie. A half game won and a half game loss for each. Cincinnati, with a victory today, goes to 6-5. The Steelers go to 5-6 with their win over San Diego. Miami, with a fourth quarter touchdown, rallied to beat Dallas. And New England, with some late scores, beat Buffalo.
A tie is the worst feeling in the world for a football player. I almost think losing's better. At least you have some sure emotion.
Loan to Pinkett. Alan Pinkett breaks it. He's inside the 30, cuts back, and he's down to the 20-yard line. So Alan Pinkett keeps on a pound, and this time he breaks his biggest gain of the day, a 24-yard run.
This play was designed to go off right tackle. Watch Alan Pinkett change directions and then shift gears. Right now he shifts gears. And then he tries to make another move to go back to the middle of the field right here. But because of that excellent pursuit by Lionel Washington, makes a great tackle down there. But Alan Pinkett showing that he deserves all the playing time that he gets. Now you can figure out why Lorenzo White's not in there so much.
Oilers running the ball time and again. That was their 37th rush of the day for 156 yards. Here's Lorenzo White. Was he something in Michigan State? 4,500 career yards, averaged 4.6 a carry throughout his college career. Scored 41 touchdowns.
And he's a player that could start for a lot of other teams in the National Football League.
Got that well-grounded amount. He's got those 14 shoes.
Reminds me a lot of Chuck Foreman. Used to play for the Minnesota Vikings. Same kind of runner. Excellent out of the backfield. Same size, same number.
Remember the playoff game last year at Cleveland, Jerry Glanville said he's the best bad field runner we got with size 14 feet, triple D or triple E or whatever.
Jerry Glanville is subject to say anything. We found that out after we've been around him.
Yeah, they got bit by that snake and they wanted him in the hospital, but he wanted to hear Jerry Jeff Walker was playing that night for the Oilers. Jerry Jeff came over to serenade the Oilers at their Saturday night dinner.
Well, he also has a Monday night radio show that he shows up in tuxedo. He wears a tie and tails. And the week after, he got bit by the snake, he showed up holding a snake in that tie and tails. He is a colorful coach, and just a wonderful guy, very funny, enjoys the game, doesn't take it too seriously. And there's his wife on the left, and she has to put up, she says she has two sons. The little son and Jerry.
That's right. At least that his enemies asked him how the snake was after he was bit, and he said he had good news for them. It was dead.
And he said the only reason he didn't die is that the snake swallowed a rat, one of the writers here in Houston.
Yeah, the snake had just eaten, so his venom count was down. Until you hear that story about him getting bit by the snake, you don't want to be around a water moccasin. Man.
He has taken this style of football wherever he has been. When he was at Atlanta, they had the same kind of sock you in the face, knock you down kind of attitude. They had the same thing at Detroit. And the players love Jerry Glanville. They love to play for him. Because he says that, you know, the only thing he asks is that you play hard.
Cody Carlson now in at quarterback after an extremely well done job by Warren Moon. It was spectacular all game long. It was Carlson, when Moon was out with an injury, who quarterbacked the 38-35 win over the Raiders here last year. Lorenzo White lost the ball momentarily, then changed gears and brought it down to the 11-yard line.
They are having a good time over there on the sideline. Highsmith, Moon, Rozier, Kenny Jackson. I think when you beat the Raiders, that's a good feeling. You talk about the Raider mystique. They indeed have that, but any team that beats the Raiders, they walk a lot taller than the rest of the season. Warren Moon with an excellent day today down in, what do you think, MVP?
I think Warren wins in a landslide.
Warren Moon, the MVP.
20 of 30 for 249 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was intercepted once.
And one of the strangest things, you got a wild team and a very calm, analytical quarterback.
And it's time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVP is quarterback Warren Moon of the Houston Oilers. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's games. Warren Moon now in his 5th year in the NFL as the Oilers outbid Seattle. There was a big bidding going on for Warren Moon when he was out of his contract at Edmonton of the Canadian Football League, where he quarterbacked that team to 5 straight Canadian Football League championships.
Celebrated his 34th birthday yesterday.
Another good thing about Warren Moon, he plays in optimum conditions in the dome, but when they go on the road in the playoffs in the cold, there isn't a better cold weather quarterback around. He's had some experience. Lorenzo White lost the ball, and it does draw a crowd, and let's see who has it. The Raiders have it inside the 5-yard line. with 1:52 left to play.
Vince Evans is talking there with Art Shell and Terry Obisky on the right. Vince Evans used to play for Chicago, played in the replacement games, and Al Davis said he just likes his athletic ability. We'll get a chance to see just how much of that he has now.
Vince Evans, a former standout for the USC Trojans, in at quarterback now for the Raiders. A tough place to start in the shotgun in his end zone. His team down 23-7 to Houston. Long ball out there is Willie Gault, and he has the ball at the 45-yard line. Where's that play been all day, Ahmad?
Well, they've had 3 or 4 people around Willie the entire day, and Willie's done a fine job in clearing out. I know he doesn't like to hear that. No receiver likes to be on the field when you just clear out, but he is very effective in that area, just enabling the other. He's responsible for Fernandez having a big day today.
That was good for a 41-yard gain. Raiders in their hurry-up offense. They've got to go fast motion to get back in this one. Down 23-7. Clock running. 1:10 to play. Evans again as the pocket moves with him. Sprints to his right. And goes down at the 33-yard line. That stops the clock temporarily when the quarterback is sacked in the last 2 minutes. Glenn Montgomery got him, number 94. Glenn also forced a fumble earlier in the game that led to an Oilers score.
You have time to throw this ball, but not this much time. I think that Evans thought that he was going to just step around that tackle attempt, but it's a fine play by Glenn Montgomery.
Now the Raiders take a timeout with 65 seconds left in the game. Raymond Burr stars in an all-new Perry Mason mystery movie, The Case of the All-Star Assassin. A world premiere movie tonight only on NBC. Don Criqui with Ahmad Rashad at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. 1:05 left to play. Vince Evans in for much intercepted Steve Beuerlein now, and he throws downfield as Evans and makes the connection out to the 43-yard line. Locked down to 51 seconds in running. 3rd and 9 coming up. Fast people running the fly patterns. Johnny Meads makes the play. Beuerlein, when he was in, completed 10 of 25 for 147 yards and a touchdown. 2 interceptions. One was tipped.
Johnny Meads led this team in sacks last year and hasn't gotten on track so far, but he today all of a sudden gets 1 sack on Vince Evans.
Yeah, Beuerlein actually intercepted 3 times today, returning after his absence with a knee injury. Vince Evans getting playing time now, but not much time left for the Raiders. 41 seconds to play. But Art Shell is very open. He says that Beuerlein's his quarterback. Jerry Glanville knows who his is. Warren Moon, today's MVP. Evans takes off, but a marker's down. This all an exercise in futility as it was an illegal block for the Raiders, a holding call. The Oilers still want the ball with just 28 seconds left to play. Now they're going to rule they got it. It indeed was an exercise in futility, or worse for the Raiders, as they lost the ball.
Holding. Offense. Penalty decline. Fumble recovery. Houston, 1st and 10.
Eric Fair's a free agent from Memphis State, having a big game for Houston.
Vince Evans trying to find somebody deep, and the only people he sees deep have blue jerseys on, so he takes off running this ball, and just right here at the end he takes a lick, and Eric Fairs is right on top of that ball. The Oilers are just playing every facet of the game very well today, and coming off that short week and a big game against Cincinnati just 4 or 5 days ago, or 6 days ago.
Yeah, that's unusual. A lot of teams times go flat. Houston now very good position possibly to catch Cleveland in the AFC Central. The Browns have to come in here on a Saturday night, the concluding regular season game for both teams. play the Oilers at the Astrodome. Denver goes at Washington tomorrow night. But Denver's got that division won.
There are so many strange things that can happen in this last month and a half of football. And Art Shell is hoping that some of those strange things help his football team.
One of the things, as you know, Ahmad, that happens is the team on the home field has the best chance of going to New Orleans in Super Bowl 24.
The play stands as ruled. 1st and 10, Houston.
They're reviewing to see if it was indeed a fumble recovery. Denver will have an even better lead on the best record in the AFC. They're 8-2 now. 49ers with the best mark in the NFC, although they're losing to Green Bay at the moment. They'd go to 9-2, as will the Giants be 9-2. They meet. That'll determine which is on the home field. But if it's the Niners and Denver on the home field in the playoffs, there's a pretty good chance that's who's going to be in the Super Bowl. Better than even. That will do it as they let the final seconds tick out. The Houston Oilers moved to within a half game of the Cleveland Browns in the AFC Central Division with a 23-7 win today. MVP Warren Moon congratulated by some of the defenders from the Raiders, and Big Art Shell and Jerry Glanville exchanged pleasantries. Not how the game started. They got along fine, but the players didn't.
Two fine coaches in the National Football League, and Art Shell, just the man that can bring these Raiders back. And Jerry Glanville has brought Houston back.
We'll return to the Houston Astrodome in a moment, where the Oilers today prevailed.